Hello and welcome to the channel. And in today's video we have a special 2-in-1 overview of a couple of McFarlane Toys releases. So on the left we have the Collector's Edition DC Multiverse Wonder Woman, and on the right we have a DC Direct McFarlane Toys digital line Green Lantern. So I'll explain everything about the Green Lantern and the digital and all of that in just 1 second. But the McFarlane, the Wonder Woman, is part of the their standard multiverse line. Although the Green Lantern you can easily integrate, of course, because of the size and all of that and the look. But the Wonder Woman, I've had this figure for almost a month now, actually. I just never got around to making a review of the figure. But the Wonder Woman was released, I want to say late 2023, right? And it has been sought after pretty much since its release. And I was finally able to find an online retailer here in Mexico that sold it. However, the price on this figure here, McFarlane Toys in Mexico, I've mentioned this before, are a little pricier than, about standard retail price, U.S. retail price, and that's pretty much goes for every country, right? I've only found out, not that I found out, I've realized that the Mattel Motu stuff, that's priced pretty much comparable to U.S. pricing, but basically everything else, Marvel Legends, the McFarlane stuff, all get a price hike because of import duties. So the figures almost come off as twice the retail price. So I don't recall the exact, and I can't tell you in dollars how much I paid for the Wonder Woman, but I can tell you that it's pretty much close to double in American retail, but still much lower than what she's being sold in the secondary market. So instead of trying on eBay and all of that, I decided to just pull the trigger and got her through the Mexican online retailer. I'll post an image of the listing and all of that for those who are here in Mexico and are interested. And the Green Lantern, a friend of mine got it for me while he was at GameStop, so he was regular price. So let's check in with we'll start with the Wonder Woman figure first. So let me just put this guy here on the side for now. And we'll start looking at here at the Wonder Woman figure. First, let's have a look at the box. So the box is pretty much the standard multiverse line. It just has the special lettering here on the sides that says McFarlane Collectors Edition and all of that. So there's like this version, and then there's the platinum version or whatever, that has the Wonder Woman figure in the old original Superpowers line colors, which were, lighter blues, lighter reds with blue bracelets instead of silver. And you can see I pretty much I've pretty much kept everything in box. I only took out the figure because I don't need her with all of the accessories. But it's just so you can get a better look at all of this stuff, right? So you have the stand that is for the trading card. You have her shield, which is a reuse of another shield from I believe this one came with the with one of the Wonder Woman. I believe it came with the Wonder Woman figure that Todd designed. I'll have to double check on that. I believe this axe also is reused from something else. And here you get a couple of extra sets of hands, right? And you have the sword up here on top. I'm sorry, you can't see. So you have the sword there. I'm not sure what sword this is reuse of. And then in the box we have still the stand and the trading card. Now the trading card, the artwork is based off of the series that was when it was relaunched with Terry Dodson, and it's the same artwork that we have at the back of the box. So yeah, the first storyline for that new series was Who is Wonder Woman, and that series started with Donna Troy as Wonder Woman, and then we later find out, how is it that she became the Wonder Woman at the time, what was going on with Diana Prince, and before we actually got her as Wonder Woman. But a lot of people were like, well, the Wonder Woman, the figure itself, doesn't look anything like the artwork, and Todd has gotten a lot of flack for that, where he bases a figure on a supposedly bases a figure on a particular storyline, but the figure doesn't look anything like it, and instead of just branding the figure as your traditional Wonder Woman, they try and do stuff like this. And I mean, yes, there is an actual old. There is a Wonder Woman figure based off of the artwork of Terry Dodson. I'll post an image there during editing for comparison. But for me, the Wonder Woman, and let's have a look at her here. To me, the Wonder Woman actually looks more like the how Michael Turner, rest in peace, drew her. So the sharper eyebrows and face and all of that. I'll put a comparison photo here on the side just for you guys to see if I'm right or wrong. But I've always said that it kind of looks more like the Michael Turner artwork. Now, body wise, it doesn't look like a Michael Turner Wonder Woman, because Michael Turner, drew his women a little more slender, a little more athletic, while the Terry Dodsons and Frank Cho's of the world would draw Wonder Woman with a little more chunk, a little more beef, a little more muscle, which I believe this is more accurately representing from the neck down. Speaking of, the body has reuse of the Superwoman. Again, I'll post a comparison image. The legs, the arms are parts of the arms are reused and all of that. But obviously we've got the traditional bustier with the gold paint, gold eagle, gold belt with the star-spangled panties, and we got the silver bracers. The only accessory that I chose to have her carry is the lasso, which is just nothing special. It would have been nice if the lasso was wired so that you'd be able to pose it and all of that. But it's just a standard like cloth covered foam inside of the I don't know what to call this material, but basically I just like looping it like this and having her carry it on her holster right here. although it doesn't hold on very well. As soon as you start posing the figure and all of that, it falls off. So I'm thinking of doing something to have her hold the lasso in place better. But yeah, the figure in itself, and speaking, I'll just take it off. Yeah, the figure itself is pretty cool. I mean, I'm a fan of the look. Although one thing does has me scratching my head. So lately, McFarlane has been doing a great job of hiding the joints and making them molding the joints to the shape of the figure, right? So, for instance, here on the ankles, though, McFarlane has been doing a great job of just having things transition better instead of having these old school rounded joints there, which makes me believe that this figure was probably ready to go for a while and he just didn't know when to release it or how to release it, either through retail or through his store or how. Because I'm thinking, since this figure came out, a lot of those figures from that time were starting to have the molded joints, and you can see how the transition goes from the boot to the joint and then to the foot. Oh, it's a little too harsh, right? And it's just something that I think maybe McFarlane had already, ready to go for a while, and just when he pulled the trigger, when he did, it was just still using the old system. But everything else about this figure is really cool. She's missing upper body posability, like most of his figures that have the diaphragm is just one single piece here on the upper body. Um, the one thing that does bother me is the cups that he uses to hide like the butterfly joint, right? You can see how gappy it is, and also the these cups are also really loose. They're not in there tight, so the once you start posing the figure, you can see all of that gappiness in there. If the cup was a little bit larger, just a hair, a fraction larger, then you would be able to pose the figure, and then the cup would be able to stay in place. I think what happened is whoever cut the upper torso here cut into the body a little too much. So I'm thinking all of this piece, this gap here, is extra plastic that was cut off on the figure by accident. But not just on this one. I'm saying as a whole, because this is a problem throughout all of the that I've seen on every figure that I've seen reviewed of the Wonder Woman. They all have this issue. So I'm thinking the cut was not properly thought thought out, and it's on both sides. So, but yeah, she's fully posable and all of that. She's got a really high leg kick. Good. Well, I mean, for a McFarlane figure, pretty good. Thigh rotation, it's not the best, but if you get it loose enough, you can get some rotation on there. Strong elbow joints, and as you can see, I have her with her fist hands. And yeah, all in all, a pretty cool looking figure. The skin tone is a little, palish. A little color on her could do her some good. And speaking of, let's see if the camera can pick it up. Her knees are actually shaded. I mean, the camera is probably not picking it up, right there. You can see from the bottom of the thigh muscles right here, there is some shading uh, all the way up to the upper shin. And that's the only spot that I can see where they added some color to her. Not even the elbows or, in the back or anything. Her hair, I mean, her hair does get in the way for certain poses, but it's actually really soft. So if you want her to look, obviously, if you want her to look up, or you're not gonna be able to get that unless you heat it up and pull the hair and tug the hair and then have it settle, and then but that's too much of a hassle. I'm still waiting for one company to borrow my idea of having posable hair. Just have it in that Stretch Armstrong style plastic, whatever, and then just have some strands of hair be posable at the end. I wonder how hard that could be. But yeah, and then just have a closer look of that face there. She looks a little sleepy. She looks a little bored. I think they probably could have done a better expression on her. But as far as the details go, all the paint is there in the proper place. So yeah, we finally were able to get ourselves a traditional looking Wonder Woman. If you can find the new Gal Gadot Wonder Woman from the, what was it, the Shazam movie, Shazam 2, she's a pretty good stand-in for if you want a traditional Wonder Woman for your DC Multiverse line, in case you can't find this Wonder Woman figure, right? Which a lot of people are having issues. And just for comparison, I think I have her around here somewhere. There she is. So, I mean, she meets all of the requirements, you could say, for a standard Wonder Woman. So, yeah, that's. So you can see, my custom one. Well, I didn't customize this particular um, Wonder Woman, but the lasso is pretty much the same material as the one that came with the McFarlane, the traditional Wonder Woman, but I did insert a wire into this, so I am able to pose this. So this is what I was saying, that if they inserted a wire into the lasso that she has, it would have been cool. All right, so we are now going to phase Wonder Woman out and bring in the Green Lantern. All right, so here we have the DC Direct, not to be, again, just to make the clarification, this is a DC Direct figure, not part of the multiverse line. This is a separate thing that McFarlane is doing to confuse the collectors, but basically this is not a multiverse figure. This is officially McFarlane Toys digital Green Lantern of the digital line from DC Direct. This is not McFarlane Toys Multiverse line, the DC Multiverse line figure. Kind of like the page punchers, the 7-inch page punchers. They're not officially part of the multiverse line, but you can include them in the multiverse line. They're the same size and everything. And the cool thing about this is, of course, is also a traditional Hal Jordan that a lot of people have been waiting for a while. This is the first Green Lantern. This is the only Green Lantern figure that I have as far as the multiverse line. Um, and it's the one that I've been waiting for to come out, basically. So I just realized I caught myself, and I said for the multiverse line, which is not, but you know what I mean. This figure is gonna go in your multiverse line. But yeah, this is the Green Lantern that I've been waiting for a while. I was thinking of maybe purchasing the essentials that came out before McFarlane got the DC license. You know, he not DC Direct was doing the essentials line, and they had released in their one of their final waves the Hal Jordan Green Lantern, the standard Hal Jordan Green Lantern, and but I thought eventually Todd will get around to it, and he did. Around in the first year, he did release a Hal Jordan. I'll post an image, which was a part of the 2-pack with one of those Dark Knights amalgams of Bruce Wayne being different versions of the Justice League members. So Dawnbreaker. There you go. I was trying to remember what was his Green Lantern name. So yeah, we did get a version of Hal Jordan versus Dawnbreaker, but it was a pretty modern looking Hal Jordan costume, Green Lantern costume, more textured and all of that, which was cool. But again, I wasn't interested in the Dawnbreaker figure, so I was waiting for the right moment for the for the 2-pack to go on discount, and it would go on discount from time to time. But I guess the timing was never right for me to actually pull the trigger on purchasing it. So I just kept waiting, and we started to get more Green Lantern figures out. Um, you know, and I said, eventually Todd is gonna come around and release a standard basic Hal Jordan Green Lantern. Uh, and he did, and well, obviously, here he is. I've always been a fan of Green Lantern. I always thought he looked cool, in the cartoons, in the Super Friends. Um, I in all honesty, he's like in my top three favorite DC characters. Okay, my dog started to bark, so I had to calm her down. So anyway, as I was saying, Green Lantern is one of my three favorite DC characters, along with obviously Batman being number one, and Wonder Woman being number two. I have more Wonder Woman figures than I have Superman's, and I only have one Superman figure. While I have like five or six, or 5 to 7 Wonder Woman figures, and a whole lot of Batman's, right? But yeah, this is the first Green Lantern that I have, and it's a pretty good figure. Again, standard multiverse posing. And all that. But let's have a look at the. Yeah, well, we got him out here already. I like the head sculpt. It's he's got a smirk going on, but the nice sculpting of the hair. It doesn't have any additional like shading on it. I didn't show it on the Wonder Woman, but Wonder Woman does have like a blue shading on her hair. You can see like a dry brushing. But yeah, Hal doesn't have anything. It's just the standard brown hair. I think the lips may be a little too brownish. Maybe tone that down. But yeah, the body shape. I don't know. I believe they said that he's using the Blue Beetle, um, Ted Cord, Blue Beetle body, which is pretty much a basic buck, right? So for anything that McFarlane needs to use for a slick costume, probably that's gonna be like the default now from now on. But it's a good sculpt, you know. Range wise, he's got a decent crunch. As always, they all bend backwards more than they bend forwards. But for Green Lantern, since he's let me remove the stand. Since he is a character that flies, you know, it's useful to have that arch in the back, right? And let's have a look at that ring detail. Let's see if we'll focus. Let's see if the camera can pick it up. May need to retouch the ring to see a lot more of those details. There you can see it. May just repaint it in different greens so that the detail pops up. There we go. Let's see. There we go. So it's a nice molded ring. But yeah, you know, you can get them in some pretty cool. So this is what I was saying about the molded ankles and joints. You can see how he has those molded detailed wrists and ankles, which the Wonder Woman does not. So that's what I was saying, that maybe that Wonder Woman was designed for a long time and he just wasn't releasing the figure for whatever reason. But yeah, if you bend them forward, you're not getting any gaps. If you bend them back, you're not getting any gaps. The soft rubber underwear helps for the, it doesn't have a high leg kick as Wonder Woman, but good enough. He does have a better thigh swivel than most McFarlane figures. Like I said, you know, all of these figures have the same system for thigh swivel. It's just that some are tighter than others. If you heat them up, you will be able to get this range of thigh swivel. So because I mean, a lot of people were complaining, oh, he doesn't have the thigh cuts and all of that, but you don't need the thigh cut. You have the joint, the system for it. It's just that some of those, it's just that on some of or most of the figures, it's really tight. But you do have that thigh rotation movement, you know. And again, the joints there are really clicky. And he doesn't have the same issue. You can see the cup there for the butterfly. It's also really loose, like the Wonder Woman, but it hides the gap. We still have a small gap right there, but it's not as exaggerated as on the Wonder Woman. So I do have a hard time trying to stand this guy up without a stand. That's why I had him with it. So I'm just gonna put that stand right there. And let's have a look at his accessories in box. So he has a couple of construct effects. They're like just like, you know, power effects. You have his power battery, and you have his extra fist and open splayed, well, not a fist, gripping hand with a trigger hand and splayed out hand. Excuse me. And then in the box we have the trading cards and the stands. Now, let me pull this out. I'm not entirely sure what artwork this is based off of, and I couldn't tell you who the artist is. So if I ever find out, I'll just post it while editing. But okay, so let me explain what is going on with this figure. So why is it branded McFarlane Toys Digital? So in case you haven't been following, McFarlane is entering the NFT space, right? Non-fungible tokens, I believe it's called. So, but he's approaching it from the action figure collector perspective, right? So he's offering digital versions of action figures. Now, I myself am not interested in that collecting space, you could say. In that, obviously, I prefer to have something in hand, physical, to actually play with. You know, um, I mean, even though I don't play with it, but you know what I'm saying. I prefer to have the thing in my hand and do my thing, and you know, pose it and leave it on my shelf for whatever time until I decide to move and try something else. You know what I mean? So yes, in the end, I'm only posing my figure. Let me try and get it in shot there. I'm only posing the figure once and leaving it there for forever and ever. I understand that, right? Like if it was a statue. Uh, but um, but anyway, so McFarlane is entering the digital space and is offering this, which is you buy the figure and you get well, a free digital version of the figure in cyberspace or whatever. I'm not exactly sure. I haven't tried it, so I don't know what all of this entails. If I can find some footage of Todd showing how the figure works in the cyberspace area, I believe he does have some, like, I believe there's like a collector room and something that he's shown before, where he's got a bunch of previous releases uh, in digital form already there. So, but I guess the idea that he's trying to sell the digital version of the figures is that there are collectors who would like to start getting into collecting, but probably don't have the space to get everything they want. So what he's trying to sell is, okay, so if you can't have the figure in hand, you can at least have some version of the figure in this, online digital space, right? That you can it's always gonna be there. It's never gonna go away, supposedly, right? Until, and that's probably my as with all digital assets, right? Okay, so I don't own the figure. I don't own the digital figure in my digital space, you could say. I believe they said, I'll have to look into it, but I believe they said that I can bring in the model, the digital model, if I have something like one of those 3D software programs, Maya and even Blender and all of that, that you are able to bring it into that space, and you can play, quote unquote, with the figure there. But the idea is that through the McFarlane website and all of that, and we've got all of the steps here on how to acquire the figure, and how to download it and all of that. So or redeem it, right? That's what I'm seeing right there, redeem code. So again, I don't want to. Again, personally, it's not for me. I may try it, obviously, but I've got it right there. So I mean, what the hell? I might as well just look at it and see how it looks. And if I ever figure it out, I'll post a video down the line. But yeah, I mean, what as we're we're all traditional action collectors here. Collectors. I that have been. I've been. Anybody that's over. Gosh, I don't know. Anybody who's over 20 years old is probably even then, not into the idea of digital assets, right? It's like saying, okay, well, I can't buy a Ferrari, right? But if Ferrari were to say, well, we're gonna offer you a digital version of a Ferrari, your dream Ferrari, cars that we no longer made, classics, like the GT and the Testarossa and the Magnum PI and the what is it, the F40, the F50. Okay, we're gonna offer those cars in a digital space where you can have it for $10,000 and you can drive it in a digital in a digital world, almost like a simulator, you could say, you know. So it's basically the same idea here. You're buying an action figure. Uh, if you don't have room to have all of your action figures, then you can have it in the digital realm where you can play with it. Although I don't know how you can play with it. Like I said, I haven't investigated how exactly you can get to play with it. So I guess that's that's part of the mental block that a lot of old school collectors have. We like having physical things, therefore digital is bad. And I'm not saying digital is bad, it's just not for me, it's not for others. uh, it's nice that Todd is offering the idea, you know but I don't know how successful it's been for him. Obviously, if he says that, if it's, I don't have a reason for him to lie and say, no, it's been selling like gangbusters and all of that. You know, we're gonna find out in in some sort of future. If the lying keeps going, that the digital action figure is really a thing. So who knows? Maybe it catches on, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. But yeah, I'll probably likely check that thing out and see what all the fuss is all about. But yeah, I just wanted to make this review. Let's see. Okay. I wanted to make this review for for these for these guys here, and just letting you guys know that the Wonder Woman. If you're if you are in Mexico here, you can find her. Hopefully, I'll check the listing of where I got it, and then see if the figure is still actually available or not. The the Green Lantern, I don't know if he's available. So check your listings, your favorite online listings, retailers, and that's it. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think, and particularly the whole digital figure thing. Is that something that moderately interests you? Is it something that doesn't interest you at all? Do you think it's dumb? Do you think it's so smart? Do you think what? Tell me what you think. All right. And yeah. So thank you for watching, and I'll be seeing you in the next one.